Hello and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 269. Well, today, the collectible of the day is the Lego Group, Marvel Comics, Superhero Team and Family, Fantastic Four minifigure set. The Fantastic Four is a Marvel Comics superhero team that could also be called a family. The traditional four who gained superpowers after exposure to cosmic rays during a scientific mission to outer space are Mr. Fantastic, a scientific genius who can stretch and mold his body into incredible lengths and shapes. The Invisible Woman, his girlfriend and future wife, who can make herself invisible, project force fields and force blasts. The Human Torch, her younger brother, who can generate flames, turn into living flame, and even fly. And Thing, Reed's best friend and shuttle pilot, who has superhuman strength, durability, and endurance due to stone-like flesh. Now, everyone in the world knows what Lego people look like. Over the past 40 years, they've released more than 8,000 different minifigs. They come released with sets, but you can also buy them separately. They even have a special collectible minifigure series. Created by the Danish toy company, a minifig is 1.6 inches in height and generally features 6 parts and is made from ABS material. My set shown features all 4 members: Thing, Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch in human form, and the Invisible Woman. I have 2 versions, the visible and invisible. Series released by Lego Group. Now, the comic of the day is Fantastic Four, issue number 296, with a cover date of November 1986. This was the giant-sized Marvel 25th anniversary issue, with plot by Jim Shooter, story by Stan Lee, art by Barry Windsor Smith, Kerry Gamily, Ron Frenz, Al Milgrom, John Buscema, Mark Silvestri, and Jerry Ordway. Cover art is by Barry Windsor Smith. This story is titled Homecoming. The opening is basically a retelling of the Fantastic Four's origin story through the eyes of Thing. After feeling sorry for himself again, he calls a pilot buddy to fly him to Monster Island, where he thinks he belongs. Sometime later in Los Angeles, Reed fires off the Fantastiflare, calling together the team. Sue and Johnny see it and answer the call. Reed called them because his search for the Thing has led him to Hopper. He tells them that Ben is on Monster Island. Hopper tells them to leave him alone, though. They've done enough to hurt him. While outside, Johnny stops some robbers trying to make a getaway from the police and tries blowing off some steam by destroying a derelict ship. At Four Freedoms, Sue tells Reed he needs to stop blaming himself for what happened to Ben, and Ben needs to stop blaming Reed by torturing him over all these years. Reed decides to find Ben and settle things once and for all. Johnny and Sue decide they're coming too. Later, as the four prepare the Fantastic car for the trip, Alicia demands to go, since she was Ben's longtime girlfriend before Johnny. Reed tells her it's too dangerous and convinces her to stay. When the Fantastic Four arrive on Monster Island, they are soon attacked by a horde of creatures that live there. As they battle through the monsters, their ship is smashed to bits, trapping them on the island. Racing into the caverns that lead into Subterranea, the 3 founding members of the Fantastic Four force back the monsters, and then Johnny seals the entrance to the caverns so they can get away. When the monsters catch up, Reed has led his team to the Valley of Diamonds. There, he has everyone cover their eyes, so Johnny flares on. The sudden blinding light sends the monsters fleeing in agony. Reed carries his team to the next chamber, where they are attacked by more creatures. These ones are able to counteract their powers. Soon, the 3 heroes fall and are finally confronted by the Thing, dressed in garb similar to the Mole Man. He tells them they shouldn't have come for him. He apologizes for all the things he had said in the past, and explains that the Mole Man was able to stop his form from entering a more unstable state, and as such is staying there. When the Mole Man enters the room, he's about to attack his old foes, but Ben manages to talk him out of it. The Mole Man concedes and allows the Fantastic Four to stay the night. That evening, while eating, Ben tells them how much happier he'll be once they've gone. They're pleased to Ben to come home go unheard. To pass the time, Ben shows them Mole Man's latest project. They see the Moloids and Outcasts preparing to dig a hole that will raise Subterranea above the ocean, where it will be an independent nation on the surface. They see the weapons, but Ben says they're for defense only. Mole Man gets angry at Ben for showing the Fantastic Four their secrets. They are then interrupted with the arrival of Alicia's unconscious body. When she comes to, she tells them she couldn't stay behind and convinced Hopper to fly her there. The Fantastic Four and Alicia are then confined to their quarters. That evening, Ben visits Alicia, but ends up angry and leaves. As Ben walks down the hall, he hears a battle and finds Reed and Sue battling the Moloids. Ben subdues Sue and Reed and orders the Moloids to stop. Suddenly, Mole Man enters with Johnny, showing off that he's disfigured Johnny's face for his betrayal of Ben. Ben decides he's had enough and orders the Fantastic Four to leave him alone, and they are taken to the surface. There they find Hopper, who's still there from dropping off Alicia. Reed explains he's discovered that Mole Man's plan to raise Subterranea will cause floods and earthquakes all along the coasts. Reed decides to go back, but Sue and Johnny won't let him go alone. Down below, Ben demands to talk with Mole Man, but he brushes Ben off. He's getting tired of the Mole Man's erratic behavior. Ben hears the sound of an attack and finds the Fantastic Four trying to destroy all the machinery. At first he helps the Moloids, but after Reed confronts Ben one-on-one, he's convinced to stop Mole Man. Shouting, "It's clobberin' time!" he joins his former teammates, destroying the massive boring device. The destruction destabilizes Subterranea, and while trying to get out, Ben convinces Sue and Reed to go ahead, while he tries to reverse the damage done to Johnny. Ben activates the device that cured him when he is confronted by Mole Man. He tries to convince him to help and get out, but the Mole Man won't listen. Meanwhile, outside, Reed and Sue get to a rubber raft where Alicia and Hopper are waiting for them when Monster Island collapses into the ocean. They then spot Ben swimming towards them with Johnny, restored to normal. Ben decides to go back and rejoin the Fantastic Four. Geek Fact: The Thing was last seen in West Coast Avengers, Volume 2, Issue number 10, hiding due to the fact that he'd been violently mutating. Although Ben is still apparently suffering from this condition at the beginning of this story, he shows no outward signs. Bonus Geek Fact: This is not really Alicia Masters who appears in this issue. It's revealed this is a Skrull spy named Elijah who is posing as Alicia. She took the real Alicia's place during the events of Fantastic Four, issue number 265. Another bonus geek fact: Alicia mentions her and Ben's long-lasting relationship. Ben and the real Alicia Masters dated consistently between Fantastic Four, issues number 9 and 264, until Ben's return and finds her dating Johnny. And final geek fact: this story retells the origin of the Fantastic Four as it was in their very first issue in Fantastic Four, issue number 1, from August of 1961. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for this super long episode of the Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. This is CatFan ComicsMan, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.